Welcome to Math with Mrs. Bibb. Today we will be discussing properties of real numbers, distributive property, and evaluating absolute value. Here are the properties. Make sure that you know and understand these properties. The reflexive property. Here's some examples. Any quantity is equal to itself. 3 equals 3. 9 plus 2 equals 9 plus 2. The symmetric property of equality says that 7 equals 3 plus 4, then 3 plus 4 equals 7. The transitive property says if 5 plus 1 equals 2 plus 4, and 2 plus 4 is 6, then 5 plus 1 equals 6. If A equals B, and B equals C, then A equals C. That's the transitive property of equality. Next, the additive identity property. When you add 0, it doesn't change the value. The additive inverse property. When you add a number and its inverse together, you always get 0. Next, the multiplicative identity property. A number times 1 is itself always, or 1 times a number is itself. The multiplicative property of 0, a number times 0 will give you the answer or product of 0. The multiplicative inverse means that a number times its inverse will give you 1. The product is always 1. That's the multiplicative inverse. Associative property, you can group two different things together on each side of the equal sign by adding or subtracting and still get the same answer. The commutative property, you can change the order in which you add or multiply and you still get the same answer. So we're going to go through these and name the properties. You may want to look back at those properties so that you can know the names of them. This first one, when I look at it, number 1, it's not numbered on your paper, but that's okay. You can still see which one that I'm referring to. The order of the multiplication has been changed, but the answer will be the same. That is the commutative property. Make sure you know how to spell those. You can add 0 and still get the same answer. So that means you have the additive, I think that's how they worded it, identity property. Next we have, looking at this paper, we see that the 2 is being distributed, so this is the distributive property. And we don't have to write the word property. For my next problem, please notice that 2R, 3R, 4R, 2R, 3R, 4R, they are in the same order on each side of the equal sign. The grouping of 3R and 4R is rearranged and the grouping becomes 2R plus 3R. That is the associative property. For the next one, I am multiplying and that product is giving me positive 1. Since the product is positive 1, then that is the multiplicative inverse property. A number multiplied by its inverse, or reciprocal, that's another word to use for that, would give you a product of 1. For my next one, I have a number times 1 gives me that number. So as you look at your list of properties, which property has a number times 1 gives you that same number? And hopefully you see it's the multiplicative identity. That's the one that says the product times 1 gives you that same number you start with. For the next one, notice that these numbers are all here in the same order. The only thing that changed was the grouping, and that is the associative property. And for the next one, 10b, 12b, 7b. Is this 10b, 12b, 7b? No. So the association didn't change. The order of these two changed, and that is the commutative property. And then for the next one, 3k minus k equals 3k minus 1k. So nothing really changed except this. And that would be the multiplicative identity. What I'd like for you to do, I would like for you to try the rest of these. See if you can come up with what property it is, and we will check them in class. Next, we're going to simplify by combining like terms. A lot of textbooks will tell you to move the like terms together, but you don't necessarily have to do that. We can combine them without moving them around. For the first one, 5a minus 1a. And notice I didn't write 1. It says 5a minus 1a, and that is 4a. That's my answer to number 1. Number 2, 5 plus 10s minus 8s. I have a constant of 5, and there are no other constants, but I do have like terms here. 10s minus 8s is 2s. The best answer is written with my variable first, so this is my best answer. For my next one, that was number 6, wasn't it? Oopsie. I'll go right on to number 11. Negative 5a minus 4a plus b. These are my like terms. That's negative 9a plus b. That's the correct answer. Number 2, 2a plus 3b plus 4a. 2a and 4a are like terms. 2 plus 4 is 6, so 6a plus 3b. That's my answer. I do not change exponents when I am adding or subtracting like terms. 6r plus 3s plus 2s plus 4r. My like terms are 6r and 4r, 3s and 2s. And that is my answer to number 7. Number 12, w plus 3z plus 5w plus 2z. My w's get added together. Oops, I underlined the z. My w's get added together. That would be 1w plus 5w. That's 6w. And then 3z plus 2z. That's 5z. We are just simplifying algebraic expressions. Number 3, x squared plus x squared plus x. I have 1x squared plus 1x squared. That's 2x squared. I have nothing to combine with 1x, so my answer is 2x squared plus x. Number 8, I have xy plus 2x plus x. There's no like term to go with xy. I have 2x plus 1x, and that is 3x. Number 13, 5/10 x minus 1x. 5/10 minus 1 is negative 5/10 x. Number 4, I'm going to distribute 3 times 2x and 3 times 1. Make sure you distribute to both of those. That would give me 6x plus 3 minus 8. There's no term to go with 6x, so I would get 6x, and positive 3 minus 8 is negative 5. I'm going to pause and erase all that's here so I can finish the last couple problems. Now I'm ready for number 9. I'm going to distribute my 2. So 2 times the quantity 5y minus 2 plus x. 2 times 5y is 10y. 2 times negative 2 is negative 4 plus x. So I don't have any like terms, but I am going to put my variables in alphabetical order. 1x will go first, positive 10y will go second, and my constant negative 4 will go last. Number 14, 3y minus 4y plus 6x. I am distributing negative 1. Negative times a positive is a negative. And negative times a positive is a negative. So negative 6x. And when I replayed that just a second ago, you couldn't see that minus 6x. I'm going to try to write closer to the answer to number 9. I'm going to combine like terms. 3y and negative 4y would be negative 1y minus 6x. And then normally your answer is in alphabetical order, so 6x minus y would be the best answer. Number 5, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to distribute my negative. Bring down my 7b. A negative times a positive is a negative. A negative times a negative is a positive. Combine like terms. 7b plus 8b is 15b. Bring down my minus 3a. And then normally we put our answers in alphabetical order. So that is the correct answer for number 5. If you will save these two for in class, we'll do those together. For these questions, I am going to substitute 2 in for x on number 1. So I'm going to have the absolute value of 2 plus the absolute value of 2 times 2 minus the absolute value of 2 minus 1. Now I want you to remember that the absolute value is the distance from 0. So if you did not remember that the absolute, sorry about that, I hit the wrong button. If you did not remember that the absolute value is the distance from 0, then please write down that definition. Now, I'm going to use order of operations, and I'm going to multiply inside of this first absolute value, and I'm going to subtract inside of the second one. You treat them like parentheses. And now, how far is 2 from 0? 2 units. How far is 4 from 0? 4 units. How far is 1 from 0? 1 unit. And then use order of operations. 2 plus 4 is 6. 6 minus 1 is 5. So the answer to number 1 is 5. I'll do number 2 here below number 1. 3 times the absolute value of 2 times 4. I'm going to go ahead and substitute here. Plus 5. Close that absolute value. Plus 2 times the absolute value of 3 minus 4. I'm going to do what's inside in the absolute value first. I'm going to multiply here. Go ahead and subtract there. I'm going to add 8 plus 5 is 13. And I'm going to bring that one down. And then how far is 13 from 0? It's 13 units. How far is negative 1 from 0? It's 1 unit. And then 39 plus 2 is 41. Number 3, I'm going to substitute negative 3 in for z. So 2 times negative 3 plus 3 plus 5 minus 3 times negative 3. I'm going to do my order of operations first. I'm going to do what's inside the absolute value first. So I'm going to multiply negative 6 plus 3 plus, I'll multiply here. That would be 5 plus 9. Negative 3 times negative 3 is positive 9. Now I'm going to do the operation inside the absolute value, that would be the absolute value of -3 plus the absolute value of 14. And the absolute value of -3 is +3. And the absolute value of 14 is 14. So that answer is 17. And I have one more to go. I'm going to substitute -1 in for B. And I'm going to multiply inside the absolute value first. Multiply inside the next absolute value first. Negative times a negative is a positive. I'm going to add or subtract inside of the absolute value. Next, I'm going to take the absolute value. How far is -9 from 0? 9 units. How far is +4 from 0? 4 units. And now I'm going to multiply 54 plus 12. That is 66. That's the answer. So I hope that you understood all of this and you have a wonderful day.